last year I saw Ginger Snaps for Halloween in this channel, and yeah, so I what we I watched Ginger Snaps, and I have the other box, the regular just single release of Ginger Snaps 2 somewhere, and I used to have the first one, but I think I got rid of it. I used to have them separately, and they were the actual region one, the ones in English. This is Mexican, so it's like in Spanish, feroz. It's funny, the title, ferocious. It doesn't make sense in Spanish. The title doesn't make sense. Nobody was going to understand. Okay. Condenada a la misma maldición que su hermana Ginger, Bridget. Emily Perkins necesita tomar el mismo suero que ayuda a su hermana a no convertirse en feroz lobo. Oh, title drop. Sin embargo, tras ser atacada por otro licántropo, Bridget es encontrada por la policía y encerrada en un centro de rehabilitación. Privada de la única cosa que puede evitar su transformación, Brigitte se convierte en una amenaza para los demás pacientes y en particular para Ghost. Oh, I remember Ghost. Tatiana Maslany, una tímida joven. I remember Ghost. Okay. So last year I watched Ginger Snaps 1, the first one. And first of all, as an introduction, because most likely 90% chance or something like that, 99% chance, you don't know me. I am just starting to do this. This is the second movie I watch in this channel. I started doing it last year. I watched the original one. I liked it. For context, for me, I chose that movie simply because I was in the mood. It was Halloween, and I chose that one because it was a very important movie for me when I was growing up. Back in those days, it used to be one of my favorite movies, and I simply held a lot of nostalgia for that movie. I held it very dear almost all of my life, and then later on, growing when I was like 19 or something, I had a friend, and we shared that movie a lot. And we're not even friends anymore or anything like that, but it doesn't even matter. What matters is that I had a lot of memories with that movie, and I chose it. I hadn't seen that movie ever since I was like probably 15, something like that. I don't remember, when I was a teenager. I'm 36 right now. And then I thought that movie might not hold up as well as I thought it would. I thought it was more like nostalgia goggles kind of thing, and turns out that movie's really good. I liked it. I loved it, actually. Part of it obviously because of nostalgia, but for my taste, it actually ended up being a really good movie. Not perfect or anything like that, but my kind of movie. It was very moody and whatever. I loved it. And I want to watch this one now, the second one. The opening is good too in this one. I remember the first thing that surprised me about the original one was the opening. The opening was really good, really moody. The music, that melancholic, brooding music was really good. And the imagery, I didn't remember Ginger and Brigitte being like into photography and stuff like that. It was a pleasant surprise, let's call it that. This intro has a similar feel. It has like really good music, although it's a little bit more like industrial. It's dark and whatever. I like it. I think I like the original one better, simply because it's more subtle and it has that melancholic tone to it that I really like. So first thing, spoiler I guess, Ginger's dead, right? And we're seeing exactly what happens after the entire thing of the first movie. Now Brigitte is alone, and she's having the repercussions of what happened in the original movie. We start with Brigitte at the library. She's looking through some books. We don't know why, but we do know that there's some neckbeard flirting with her. Like, ew. He's really trying. He's really awkward. He's the cashier. They actually know each other because she like goes there often, but don't get too attached to him. He's dead already. Sorry, guy. We're not gonna miss you. If even I feel that you're being too awkward, you're being too awkward. And you're dead. And how did Neckbeard guy die? Well, the thing is that Brigitte, I keep calling her Brigitte and Brigitte. I don't know. I can't control it, sorry. What happened was that, so she's keeping a diary of her evolution now that she has this infection on her. and she's using the cure from last movie. She's like keeping a record of all the progress. Like she keeps like rebouncing and stuff like that. And suddenly, in the middle of her doses, she gets a visit from Neckbeard, who sees her, and he only sees this scene, right? Well, I mean, what are you gonna think? He only sees this scene of her with the needle and the everything. She looks like a junkie, and she looks like she's having an overdose. So obviously, this doesn't even have anything to do with him having a crush on her or anything like that, like lurking on her or anything like that. Obviously, he sees that she's like having some kind of medical issue, so he tries to help, and he tries to like take her to the hospital. She's tripping out, and there's a werewolf outside. There's a monster. Acapulco, stop it! You probably heard that my dog is like trying to crawl up in the bed, and he's making a lot of noise. You know what dogs do, right? They turn around a lot. They like, what am I talking about? This, oh my god, this video is gonna be a mess. Probably just like, whatever. This video is gonna be a mess. Just like Neckbeard guy here is dead. Is dead. Is dead. So there's a werewolf, another one, a different one, a new one, and then suddenly, next thing she knows, it's daylight and she's laying on a hospital bed. I can only imagine how fucking confusing that must feel. I've fainted before, and it's weird. Yeah. Last time I fainted, I was in the bathroom. I took a pee, and I was in the bathroom, and I started feeling all woozy and like whatever, and then it was like, oh fuck, oh no, I think I'm gonna faint or something. I was like, oh, I remember thinking about needing to sit down, and I tried to like sit down on like the toilet, and that's all I could remember. Next thing I knew, I opened my eyes, and all I could see was like the light bulb and the ceiling, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Where am I? And then I tried to get up. I was like stiff, and I tried to get up, and when I was trying to do that, I looked back to the floor, and I saw a lot of blood. And I was like, what the fucking shit is going on? So the head person there, the woman, the one who's running everything there, the community hospital thing there, her name is Alice. Let me not forget that name. Alice. Is that a reference? Alice. This movie has a lot of references that totally flew over my head when I was younger. The thing is, Bridget is totally confused because she's like, you didn't find a guy? And Alice, right? Alice. She's like, what guy? Yeah, he wasn't there. They couldn't find him. Dude, this movie has that editing. It didn't have it in the first one. That really early 2000s editing, that Saw editing, you know what I mean, right? If you've seen those movies, the one that were you just like those quick flashes of like really short shots of inserts of like different imagery there. You know what I'm talking about, right? It shows his age right there. It's super cringe, but I kind of love it now. It's like, I'm glad they don't do that anymore. But I kind of feel, I don't know, I feel a little bit of a tickle when I see that those they think she's just some junkie, and that's why they're keeping her there. I mean, no fucking shit. What are you gonna think? That she's a werewolf? I mean, obviously they're gonna think she's a fucking crackhead that they found there, and that, oh fucking shit, Stefan Oldstall, holy fuck. I'm telling you, where's Brian at? Dude, I'm telling you, this movie has a weird connection with me. Dude, how didn't I notice that last time I saw it? How didn't I see fucking Stefan Oldstall there? I must have been like 13. Anyways, there's Ghost right there. 14 when last time I saw this movie, because I started listening to Placebo when I was somewhere around 15 years old. And I used to have this friend I talked about, and we both connected intensely in a lot of things, including mainly placebo. And I never mentioned, yo, there's how about that guy that looks exactly like Stephen Olsthal. So I saw this movie way earlier than that. Wow. Oh yeah. So Ghost is there because her grandma is burnt, completely burnt, and they keep her there. Now it's not a very ideal environment for a fucking kid, but they keep her there. And Ghost is creeping though, creeping on her. She's being like a. So I have to mention the music. It's really good. I like the music. It's really edgy though. It's really. You can tell the first one was a success, and then they amped up everything in here. Gladly, it worked out, and at least for now, like the music, the mood, and everything is really early 2000s, late 90s. This is like super edgy, true 2000s type of shit, but it's really good. I like it. So they're having group therapy. It's super awkward. I was in group therapy once years ago, back in 2012. I was in group therapy. Why am I saying? I don't know. I kind of pressure myself. I'm not usually super talkative all the time in person, but when I'm making the videos, I'm like, yo, talk about things, make the video interesting. This is gonna be boring, and I pressure myself, and I say things. So yeah, I wasn't. Yeah, so what? Whatever. Who cares? I was in group therapy for like a couple of times. I had to. I had to. It was awkward, but it wasn't that bad, honestly. I was going through a rough time, and that ended up whatever. The doctor thinks she's a lesbian because she's talking about all this edgy, aggressive shit, and yeah. Yo, now that I mentioned that, yeah, that time, those years were super disgusting, or super awkward, and like I was medicated. It was bad. I'm just gonna leave it at that. It was bad. I was going through like one of the roughest times in my life, and I did a lot of stupid shit, and it was bad. Yeah. Jesus. Anyways, there you go. The video is interesting now, I guess. They're trying to help her anyways. There's another thing that shows the age of the movie. I remember when having tattoos was this really taboo, tough motherfucker type of thing. They're trying to make this character, the what's her name? Whatever her name is, look like this, like really type of like, oh, she had like a dangerous past, right? They're implying you with her tattoos. She like, look at her sleeve. She was probably into a lot of trouble because look at those tats, right? Now it's the most mainstream shit ever. And she looks like somebody I know. I know that every time, pretty much every videos or something I do, I'm always saying that people look like other people, and that I see faces. That is what I do. I can't help it. And I know somebody that looks like her. I don't remember her name, and she dresses up like that, and she has like tattoos, and she has the hair and everything. What can I do? It's my shtick. I see faces and faces. I see faces, okay? I see faces. Anyways, Bridget is trying to explain to them that people are gonna die, right? She's all like edgy and brooding like that. If you keep me here, people are gonna die. But I mean, what are you gonna think? They're gonna think you're some kind of junkie. I live in a really troubled place here, like the area where I live. It's full of junkies and bums and just like fucked up people. If I see some motherfucker like that, I've seen motherfuckers like that, like almost every day. Like it's like a lot of times I've learned things. Whenever you see like crazies outside walking around yelling out loud, like convoluted crazy bullshit, it's always based on reality, but it's always something that happened in their life in the past, and it's always mixed with like their delusions, but that delusion stems from some reality. So I hear people saying about things about murder and about all this stuff, right? And you hear them and you're like, oh, it's just some crazy motherfucker. It's just a drifter, a crazy junkie crackhead screaming nonsense. No, it's actually based on like events that actually happened in their life. Where was I going with this? I don't know. Oh yeah, Bridget. They locked her up. And she... Sorry, this is the second movie I do here in this channel. And this is probably gonna be a mess. But I'm already on track with this, so I have to keep going. Back to the movie. Yeah, so Bridget is trying to slow down her transformation. I like this transformation. It's cool. It's like, it's not just like typical werewolf transformation. In this universe, werewolves like slowly change, and the other werewolf is looking for her, and she's worried. She doesn't know how to get her cure now. Stefan also has it now, and he gives it to the Alice. There you go, Alice. They think that Bridget is getting high on this thing because actually people do the dumbest shit you can imagine, so it's not unbelievable to assume that somebody is getting some kind of trip out of consuming this poisonous thing. So there's something to notice here, right? Ghost is kept there because grandma got burned completely, and she's like taking care of her there. And she can't talk, grandma can't talk or anything like that because she's all like mummified. She's all like band-aid up entirely. And Ghost is there. And Ghost like has a stash of comics, the same type of comics that I would have been reading when I was that age, honestly. And whenever Ghost is around, grandma is always like, she's always like upset. She always like tries to call the nurse or something. And Ghost is like taking care of her, but she's also like really oblivious to her. It's weird. Yeah, I'm sure it's nothing. So by the way, the nurse dude guy, the one that looks like that guy from Revolution, what's his name? American Pie motherfucker? What's his name? Him. He saw, the bottles, and he was like, sing, score. He's that type of guy. You know what I'm talking about. He's that type of guy. You'll see. You probably know already. Thing is, he's being a sleazeball. He wants to use the drug to get laid with her. You knew what I was talking about earlier. He's that guy. He's that type of guy. Yeah. Ghost. Oh my god. No wonder that character stood out to me so much when I was younger. Look at her. That's exactly something that I would have been doing at her age. Even younger. Even older. Like, even right now. So, nurse guy, evolution pie guy, he's like, come on kid, it's time for bed already, come on, let's go. Let's go. And Ghost is all like brooding with her verses and whatever.
Late at night, secret chambers, he carried out his reign of moral terror.
Las animañas con las que jugaba eran algo que no se debía de tocar. Esas mañas son muy extrañas. Oh my god, I'm telling you, Jesus. And she has a dog. Heads up with the dog, though. I noticed something here. She has a dog. Was it their dog? Like her dog? I don't know. There's a dog there. That's something that comes around later on. He sleeps outside. Dude, where I live in, it doesn't snow, so dude, can you just leave a dog outside on the snow like that? Really? A small ass little doggo like that? They don't die? It's cool. I can't imagine that. It's unimaginable for me. Leaving a dog outside in this little doggo house and look at how much snow. So he sleeps outside. Weren't they watching a movie in class too? In the first one? Yeah, they were, right? They're watching a movie here. And they're bullying Ghost. That used to happen to me when I was like 11, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, that was me. Put my face there with my stupid little drawings being like super awkward and weird. And the kids are like behind me messing up with me, like hitting me and stuff and throwing shit at me. That's me. That's funny. Weird ass fucking kid obsessed with werewolves and like, dude. Bridget fucks them up. That's something different. That never happened to me. Nobody stood up to me. I had to learn to do it later on. That never happened to me. That's the difference. So Ghost is like, yo, and Bridget's like, leave me alone, kid. So how does Ghost knows that Bridget's a werewolf? I think she got the idea from the comics. I was honestly not paying enough attention. I was too distracted. And she shows her brooding, edgy comics to Bridget, and she's allowed to just hang out with the staff. That's weird. I don't know. I don't know if I will allow a kid to just be around the. Never mind. One thing that I would not be doing was like explaining her my sexual activities to some fucking
You didn't
kid.
like how Tyler came into your room, did you?
Okay, dude.
The others did.
And so yeah, she tells her about
He tells me
the
everything.
that she knows that he goes around with all of the other girls in the hospital, and they have an understanding, wink wink, if you know what I mean. And that's exactly what he's been trying to do with Bridget. I mean, she's not a little kid, but still, dude.
I'm not allowed to watch horror movies. Or technically to read comics. Or to eat foods with gluten. I'm too impressionable.
You see, she's too impressionable, dude. And she's not even allowed to watch horror movies, dude. I wasn't allowed to watch horror. Well, no. I wasn't allowed to watch Beetlejuice. Here, I'll explain. You know, I was a little ass kid, right? I was absolutely obsessed with Beetlejuice. I'm talking about little ass kid, 7, 8 years old, something like that. Obsessed with Beetlejuice. My favorite movie ever when I was a little kid. In that time, that was my favorite movie ever. My mom doesn't allow me to watch the movie because she knows what's gonna happen, and what's gonna happen is that I see Beetlejuice, like in the house. Okay, I'm a little ass kid having panic attacks because I'm starting to see Beetlejuice coming out of the artwork in the frames in the house. I start screaming and I'm making all this big fuss. My sisters have to come and calm me down, and my mom's like, don't let the fucking kid watch that stupid movie because he's gonna start doing his thing. He's gonna start seeing him, and and the thing is that actually used to happen. I used to see Beetlejuice when I was a little ass kid. Like this little tiny ass big headed Funko Pop looking Beetlejuice. This little ass guy, tiny little motherfucker with a huge gigantic head that looked exactly like Beetlejuice coming out of the frames in like the art. I'll show a picture. I'll go to the actual place, and I used to see him coming out of the frames and making fun of me and laughing at me, and I would panic, right? Yeah. So, but I was still watching the fucking movie, and my mom would get pissed. So, long story short, I wasn't allowed. So, anyways, I wasn't allowed. I would still watch it, and then the cartoons came out, dude. That cartoon was cool. And then I would try to watch the cartoon, and my mom would get pissed again. I'm not joking, by the way. That's a true fucking story. That's a true story. It's probably a good thing that nobody actually watches these videos, and if they do, they don't reach this deep into the video. Maybe they do. I don't know. I'm telling you, what Ghost is watching though. She's watching the evolution pie guy get a blowjob. Why are you letting this fucking kid? I mean, to be fair, he did told her, yo, you can't be outside lurking around in the hospital past your bedtime. He did told her that, so I mean, you can't really blame him. You can blame him about getting blowjobs from the patients there, but okay, so he's that kind of guy. We get it now. He's that kind of guy. Okay, Ghost steals the cure, and next day she goes to see Bridget and gives her the cure, and she's trying, you see what happens, and now she's trying to see Bridget puke. That's a messed up kid. That's what happens. Evolution pie guy comes through and snatches the cure back, and now he's obligating her to like suck his dick, right? And she doesn't want to do it. I mean, no shit. He's pressuring her now. He wants those balls dry. Shit, dude. He's that kind of guy. I told you, he's that kind of guy. And she's not kneeling down. Oh, yeah. It's true. She's not kneeling down to him. Yeah. That's accurate. Let's just say that that's accurate. She's not kneeling down to him in any way, in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, she doesn't have any more cure, and she's like progressing. She's seeing Ginger still, and so this thing right here, they having a session of therapy session, group therapy session, where they having this exercise where they're like relaxing and like letting go sort of, and they all start masturbating and this at the same time. That's super. That first of all, that sounds super uncomfortable, and second, really, that's something that I can't imagine something being a real therapy. I don't even know why they bring that up in the movie like that. It doesn't sound believable for me. The only reason why I see that they could bring that up in the movie is that they need this scene in which she needs to be in front of everybody, and you know how the first movie is all about like sexual awakening and all that stuff, and she needs to have that little awkward scene on it of everybody looking at her screaming because she gets so aroused that she starts seeing a lot of gore and she starts to get all primal and her transformation like speeds up. But that session is weird. Is that something? I'm not a professional or anything, so is that something that happens? I can't imagine that at all. But I mean, I guess. Yeah, because the movie is a coming of age movie, right? It's a metaphor about nature, growing up, hormones, the blood, especially coming of age more directly on the woman's side, the menstruation, the blood. But Bridget is desperate, right? She kneels to him and she craves, and she like, she goes back and she's all like, "Yo, dude, evolution pie guy, I'm sorry, okay." In this angle, he looks like Captain America now. Anyways, she's all like, okay, I'll fuck you, Jesus Christ. Give me my doses. And she's like, okay, I guess I'll think about it. Yeah, he's that kind of guy. On the subject that I was talking about earlier with the coming of age story and nature and all that stuff, you see the dog here now, and the dog is dead, just like in the first movie. The dog dies, and I remember in the first movie I was like, why is that happening? Why does this movie have against dogs? And it's always killing dogs. And I get it now. I see it now. The dogs are the metaphor of safety. It's over now. This is the part where things get serious, and this is the part where danger starts to unfold on the movie, on the story. There's no coming back anymore. Dogs are the symbolism of domesticated nature. A dog is a domesticated wolf. Wolf is the symbol of danger, of the most savage nature, of the spirits of the dark world. And the dogs are the symbol of the conquest, of the mysterious, of the savagery, of darkness. I say that as I have my dog finally settled down after all this, after all the fuss he was doing earlier. He finally settled down and fell asleep. Anyways, the dogs are humanity's symbol of safety against nature. We are safe from nature whenever we have our dogs on our side. And now the dog is killed, representing nature, darkness, the savage world, the unknown, taking control. There's no escaping it now. Now the wolf, literally and figuratively, lurks in the darkness near you. Ghost thinks Bridget killed the dog because she knows she's a wolf, but that doesn't make any sense because Bridget hasn't had time to even transform or to be out of the hospital or anything like that. So it's very obvious that it wasn't her who did it. But she shows her the way, she explains her that there's a way out of the hospital, and she shows her. So Bridget is gonna try to escape the hospital now. She finds the place that Ghost told her. They agreed on meeting in like the outside of the hospitals where the place is like derelict, and they have incinerators there, and it's basically unguarded. But Evolution Pie guy is fucking one of the bullies there. He uses that spot because since there's nobody there, it's unguarded. He uses the spot there to go and hook up with the other girls and fuck there. So they're there, and then evolution guy goes away, and then they are attacked by the wolf. The wolf finds them there, and he tries to get Bridget and Ghost. So they escape the wolf by running away like crazy and using the incinerator, and they go to they're going out. They grab a car, a hospital car, I think, and they stop by some gas station to use the bathroom, and then they go to Ghost's house. But first, before we go into that, I want to praise all the cinematography here, because you can't really see it that well because my image there is really low quality. I do that kind of on purpose, but I like the fact that this movie, is old. It's all practical. And I like the fact that they are very ingenious on how they utilize the light and shadows and the puppet costume thing. I don't know what it is, what kind of prop that is, but they show you they enough to let you get the idea of how it actually looks like, but it just shows you how well you can do a scene without too much budget, right? Just by using good lighting and camera angles and editing, you can save a lot of money and show something that looks really good. So yeah, coming back to this, they stopped by the gas station and on their way to Ghost's house.
I got chips.
Dude, you got chips? What kind of chips? You got chips? I got chips. So Ghost's house is all fucked up, right? Because it burned, and she's doing all these Home Alone things to like get it back to work and stuff. I don't know. So they're bonding now more. They have time to they get to know each other a little bit more. Ghost is telling her her backstory, her origin story, I guess. Her why they call her Ghost, and why Barbara called. Oh my God, Barbara Chan. She has a Barbara Chan. Oh my God. Yeah, she's just sleeping there. She's like the Snorlax.
But then Barbara told Caroline Fisher's mom
Barbara
she
Chan.
got to pay him $9
With
an
a
hour.
with a house fire? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Wow. Fuck. Okay. Wow. Anyways, I lost my train of thought, but yeah. So Ghost is like being weird.
I'm just
No
kidding
shit.
you.
And she's having this romantic theory that maybe the other werewolf doesn't really want to kill her, right? Because so maybe he just, maybe it's not evil. Maybe he's just misunderstood, right? Maybe it's not in his nature to kill, because maybe he just wants to get to know her. And Bridget's like, no, he wants to fuck me. And it's like, oh, okay, fine. Next day, Ghost already has a scarecrow monster outside. Some mecha fucking defense system outside that's has like a scarecrow. It's a Home Alone contraption. Dude, who is this kid? She has the whole house booby trapped. How did she do that in so little time? I don't know. She's weird. The name of the contraption monster is Polyester, and she made like she's already like she had time to do so much in a couple of hours. She already did a little collage of Bridget there, and this kid is fast. She's weird and she's fast. So they think they killed the wolf because they they hear that polyester exploded. That wasn't the case. It was a deer. That scene actually sucks because I don't know. It's just like you imagine that it was just some fucking deer minding his own business, just being curious, and boom, fucking polyester that is explodes and kills him. It sucks. And then a werewolf woman just starts eating you? Dude, that sucks. So, in this very moment right now, while editing this very part of the video, I randomly decided to look up Ghost on Google, and I just learned that she's She-Hulk, and I'm like imagining now all the things I could have said in reference to that, but I'm not gonna redo the entire thing now. I'm not gonna re-record anything anymore. Look at how far it is. It's just kind of stupid that the guy who says he sees faces in faces didn't see Ghost's face in She-Hulk. The thing is, She-Hulk is not like in my orbit, in my radar or anything. It's not. I never really watched the show, so I it's not something I have present in my mind. So yeah. She's advancing fast. She's getting worse. She's going wolf. She called Evolution Pie Guy to come and bring her the cure because she doesn't know what to do anymore. She's worried and she's desperate. And the werewolf is aware that she's changing now, so he's getting even closer. They have Evolution Pie Guy here on the team now. They tell him that the other girl, whatever her name was, that she escaped too, because he still assumes that they just escaped and the other girl just escaped. He doesn't know that she's actually dead. So they try to use the cure, but the cure, probably because of her really advanced state, is working like really bad now. He's having a really, really fucked up effect that is freaking everybody out. And obviously, what are you gonna think? That this is something terrible going on. He tries to take Bridget to the hospital because he gets worried. He sees that and he like freaks out. He's like, "Fuck this! We're getting you out of here. You need to go back. This is really serious." And meanwhile, Bridget doesn't seem to stop changing anymore. It's probably not working. And Ghost doesn't know what to do. She's seeing everything fall apart now. Bridget passed out for a minute there. She wakes up and she's looking for Ghost, and now Ghost is like half undressed, and it's like, dude, I knew he was that kind of guy, but we didn't know he was that type of guy. You know what I mean? Like, whoa, dude, I had to rewind. I had to rewind and put subtitles to actually like get like the thing cleared up, like exactly what Ghost said. And yeah, she said that, and you're like, wow, okay, I didn't know you were that type of guy. You didn't look like that type of guy. He looked like he was that type of guy, but not that type of guy. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, that's so out of left field. What? It's like, okay, this just turned to another level, and he's scratched, and Bridget is like, what happened to your face, dude? And he's like, well, Ghost, man, she's crazy. And well, Bridget is like, oh, hey, it's cool, yeah, okay, don't worry about it. Hey, yo, you want to go outside and like activate the generator? Trust me, that's cool. It's safe. Don't worry about it. What do you think? There's monsters outside or something? Dude, are you kidding me? Can you just do me a solid real quick? And, like, do that, you know? There's not a monster outside, trust me. And he's like, yeah, of course not. Yeah, cool. And he goes there, and she closes the door and leaves him there outside, and the werewolf attacks him, and he's dead now. So he's dead now. I mean, it's just like in the other movie, in the first movie, when Bad Boy dies. But yeah, spoiler alert. But the thing is that he ended up being kind of the only decent character in the entire movie. He never tried to be that kind of guy with Brigitte or anybody really. He was just like he was he was the bad boy. He was selling weed, but he legitimately tried to help Brigitte. He was the reason why they were able to actually get the cure. He died a hero. So he's out, he's gone, and Brigitte is changing even further. And she sees something really funny there. Sign there that says no smoking in the house, even though Ghost said Barbie Chan got burned because she fell asleep with a cigarette lit on. Okay. Alice arrives because Evolution Pie called her because remember he was trying to help Bridget, right? And Bridget is like, okay, wait, what's going on here? And she discovers that it wasn't true what Ghost said. Barbie Chan wasn't a smoker. It was actually Ghost who burned her. And it's like in the first movie when Bad Boy dies. So it's like, yeah. This guy, okay, so he's cleared out a little bit. I knew it. He didn't have that kind of vibe, okay? He was that kind of guy, but he wasn't that kind of guy. You could tell. I mean, he was never creepy towards ghosts or anything like that. He was treating her just like a kid, not anything else. And yeah, that doesn't villainizes him as much anymore. But he was still that kind of guy, you know? He was still taking advantage of those mental patients. None of them, as far as you can know, were forced into anything, but he was still taking advantage on their vulnerability and on their addiction. And then the werewolf attacks, and he breaks into the house. They're trying to stop him. Bridget is like transforming now even further, and she actually gets the best of him, and she somehow manages to overpower him, and then takes the chance when he's incapacitated a little bit to completely finish him off. And she's trying to, she like beats the shit out of him, right? She beats the fucking shit out of him with like a tea kettle or something. I don't know what it is, but and she's trying to finish him up with like a stage fatality or something in the basement. But just as she's about to do that and like push him on the last push, the werewolf wakes up and grabs her, and now they both fall into the basement to the stage fatality. And the werewolf is dead now, but they're trying to see what happened to Bridget and Alice. She's all like, "Yo, there's something there," and she says, "Yo, Ghost, go back upstairs." And when she turns around, Ghost hits her with a hammer in the head and kills her. The fucking yeah, she's dead now. She kills Alice. She's all like, Ghost is I knew you'd find us, Alice, and kills her. And Bridget is alive. And it looks like Ghost is gonna shoot her because Bridget puts her head on the barrel. But instead, Ghost closes the door, looking her down there in the basement. And you're like, what the fuck? Yeah, plot twist. Ghost is the villain of the story. You never saw that coming. I know I didn't. I remember seeing these movies several times way younger, and I didn't remember that. It's like, I don't know, it's conflicting, right? It's a really good twist, I'm not gonna lie. But it's conflicting about Ghost because she starts out being really sympathetic at first, but then at the end she turns out to be main villain. That's really surprising that it's implemented really well, for me at least. Now she makes me think of other things that I wouldn't have considered at all when I first saw this movie. She makes me question, what is she like on the spectrum? She shows signs to that, right? She hyper fixates on the werewolves and the grim stuff and everything like that. And she doesn't seem to be like just evil for the sake of being evil. She's not a psychopath. Or is she? Hold on, let me see. Oh, I don't know. She seems to care about Bridget. She feels attached to her. She seems to care about other people, at least about Bridget. I guess if she truly cared about Bridget, then she's not a psychopath. But I mean, she cared about the dog. She seemed to have legitimately cared about the dog, although that not that much because she got over it really fast. As a matter of fact, she grabbed the head. If she really loved the dog that much, she would have probably felt a little bit more fucked up by grabbing the head of that dog there. I don't know. She's very naive and impressionable, and she romanticizes everything. She thinks that the werewolf might not be evil, maybe the werewolf's not that bad. Maybe they can be friends. Okay, she cares about Bridget, but she cares about Bridget. Let's see. Is it really affectionate, or is she really just caring for Bridget because Bridget is like some kind of object to her because she's obsessed with werewolves and she's a real werewolf. So she wants to have her as an object, right? Her prized possession. That's a good thinking right there. What do you know? The very probable thing that seems to be her case is that she's very naive and clueless and immature, and she can't really seem to understand good and right very well. And the abuse that she experiences drove her kind of mad, and she doesn't really see how bad she's actually being. And she doesn't seem to be like an actual case of like autism or something like that, or like a psychopath or something. But that's the very interesting thing that I feel that really draws you to that character, is because it's a complex character. It's a more complex character than what you were imagining at first. Oh yeah, yeah, sure. Okay. So the movie holds up. It's actually really good. It's actually really good. It's almost as good as the first one. No, in a different way, edgier, more early 2000s type of way, but it's good. It actually holds up. I'll give it a bloody good, and one of my personal favorites. There you go.